I should turn my light on. Ooh, we're live. We're live.
Hey.
Hello. So, Go Gritters, we have one of our favorite partners, Katie Nelson, on today. Woo, from Sales Uprising. And we're so happy that she's one of our unicorn partners. Yes, they're special. Katie, do you want to give a quick introduction?
Sure. I'm Katie Nelson. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Nelson. I am known as the Sales Catalyst. Basically, what that means is if you know me, you make more sales. I am the CEO of Sales Uprising, and I am thrilled to be a unicorn partner. I am. I'm all about a six-figure everything.
Well, do you have your own theme music where it's just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching when you walk in?
I hope so.
Money. You know what I mean? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
All you hear is that yes, absolutely. 100%.
Oh my gosh. Well, hi, Vicki. Well, so tell us a little bit. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your business, like the types of clients you work with, what you help them achieve. As you know, we love sales as a subject. In fact, our next Small Business Grit Summit is called Sales Circus because we think it's so important. So I know that is your jam. But tell us a little bit about Sales Uprising. I want to know all about it.
Oh my gosh. Sales Uprising was born on August 31st of 2016.
Oh,
Wow.
You just had a birthday.
1 year.
I did just have a birthday. And I love it. It's my third business. So I'm one of those weird, crazy serial people.
Yeah.
And it's my first alone venture. It's my first sole venture. I've had 2 business partners previously in businesses. And the reason why Sales Uprising got started is because literally what I want for my small business community is for them to take their fist and shove it in the air and be like, yes, I am the number 1 salesperson for my business. And I love it. And I want them to make 0 apologies for that, because what that means is that we're all successful and we have the ability to grow and do bigger things and better things and give to our philanthropic needs and all of this stuff. All of that is generated from our ability to generate revenue for ourselves. So that's how it got born.
Oh my God.
What were your prior businesses? I didn't know this was your third.
Yes, it's my third baby. I owned 2 separate firms that did IT, staffing, and professional services. Imagine this, in the government contracting space.
Oh.
So my life was spent in capture and business development with my clients and going to industry days where I wore no colorful suits. And yes, that's what I did for 10 years. It was a fantastic decade. I loved all of it. It just turns out that staffing oddly wasn't my passion.
Yep.
I don't know. So
I can see that. And you wouldn't be able to be as vibrant as you are.
Oh, girl, we worked it. It's hard to contain all this.
Yeah.
So my clients know me for being 100% this person. The comments that I get when they see me now, they're like, oh my gosh, look at you being 100% you. So my favorite part is that I'm still friends with them. They are still in my life. Yes, this is something sales can do for you, is actually give you friends sometimes. And it's just that now all of me gets to be whole, right?
Yeah, that's big.
That's a good feeling. So tell us, what's the most rewarding thing for you when you work with a client? What are the outcomes that you're seeing?
Well, let's talk cash, ladies. So, one of the things that we do as business owners is we make it, but what we do is we put it right back into the business. So one of my favorite things is making sure that my clients get a paycheck from their own efforts.
So important.
It's one of my favorite things. And it's amazing to see what happens when that is something that's a regular part of your life as a CEO and then having a life, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite things. Another one of my favorite things is hearing people say, before I worked with Katie, I thought just like everybody else and that pushy and icky and sales and ooh gross and who wants to do that. And now I am proud to step into my I am the number one salesperson for my business, and I always will be. That is like stepping into that skin and owning that is my favorite.
Awesome.
So, yes.
I love it. I'm also a lover of cash. So we have that in common.
Lisa, that's true. Yes, girl, let's talk some cash. This will totally age me, but you may remember it was called ducats at one point in time. So we talk cash, ducats, 100% all day, every day.
I didn't know that was a regular conversation topic, ducats, though.
I don't know what ducats is.
It's money, girl.
Yeah.
It's money.
Ducats is money? Okay.
It's a very old saying.
Ah, okay. All right.
Well, I'm just, as you were talking about being the number one salesperson, I was like, do you have like a retreat plan for your clients that hit their numbers? So it's like, big corporate sales retreat.
I don't.
You need
So
that.
you're talking about, what Mary Sue's talking about, you guys, for those of you who've never been in sales before, is like the sales trip. If someone hits their sales goal, everybody gets to go on a sales trip. It may have been in the works, and then there could have been a pandemic. But so as of right now, there is nothing like that. We are not traveling anywhere together. There is no travel on the books. So remains to be seen. Check in with me in February.
All right.
Yeah, the future is bright. Well, I love this topic, and I noticed on your website, I don't know if you have this memorized, but there is a statistic that I think is really important, and it's like the number of women who are making less than 100,000 in their business, or are bringing home less than 100,000. It's a pretty staggering statistic, right? And right, it's like 80% are making. Am I remembering it right?
So, no, you're not remembering it right. It's even more staggering.
Oh no,
the statistic. I run a mastermind called the Top 6, and that has to do with the top 6%. It is 6%, and that's like 10 years old. So now it's probably 8%, but I can't change the name to Top 8. That would be weird. So it's literally like 8% of service-based businesses that make it to 5 years will generate a six-figure income. 8%. That's 92% that have either failed out, and then 92% that don't make six figures.
Oh my gosh.
At all.
As poor women, I mean, we have to smash the patriarchy, and now we have to smash this like really awful statistic, because we have, honestly, I think women are such savvy, like do so well in business when they get out of their own way. Like, meaning when we get past the mindset issues, when we get past the aversion to sales and telling people and sell, and get past undervaluing our expertise and our time. When we get past those, we make incredible business people, because we are empathetic. We tend to look for winning situations. We tend to make sure that, I don't know, I think we conduct ourselves with a lot of integrity. I'm making a lot of generalizations here, but whatever. This is my experience. And so I love that you are focused on sales, because I think, if you can't sell your business, you're never going to be able to beat that statistic and become a 6%er.
Yes.
It's really true, right?
What is the biggest hurdle or challenge that your clients have that you help them overcome?
So when a couple of different slices of it, right? Because everybody comes at it from a different place. My clients are solopreneurs who are literally looking to get to their first $250,000. They are driven businesswomen. Maybe they've been in their business for a while. Maybe they've only been in for a year. But basically, if you haven't made your first $250,000, that's called the startup phase. So I work specifically with solopreneurs in the services-based industries that are looking to make $250K as fast as possible, right? And some of them come in and really and truly are like, yes, so I have all of the working pieces. Everything is going exactly right, except for I don't make as much money as I want. So why is that? Right. So every time we in our own businesses think that we're right, that's a hurdle. I don't know if you guys have ever had to come up against that. I have had to come up against that. No, I'm right. Oh, I'm not And then mindset. So mindset is a really big one. When we take a look at the conversations that are being had in Inc. magazine, right, or on Medium when it comes to entrepreneurship, sales is a very tactical topic, right? They talk
Yeah.
about it as something to do. And while that's true if you're a corporation, you can have a team and all of that. When you're an entrepreneur and you're the sole proprietor and it begins and ends with you, that's not the way it is. And so we actually have to gain the right mindset for a sale, whether that's because we've been sold poorly before, all those people who are like, hi, I just met you, but I have stuff for you and I know you want it, like whatever all of those feelings are, we never see how amazing sales is. I think Barb Corcoran, Shark Tank, right? She's really the woman that you can see today who's always talking about sales. But when people think of her, they think of her as a mogul. They don't think of her as a salesperson, right? We all need, but she always thought of herself as a salesperson first. So it literally has to do with just the right steps in order. Get down your salesperson, and man, your mogulhood is on its way.
I want to be a mogul. I love that. Yes. I can totally see that in myself too, that and plenty of people that I've talked to is that we don't want to be the salesperson. We think it's icky. It is seen as very transactional. Even though I have known many salespeople when I worked in corporate America that were not like that at all. They were very strategic. It was a business strategy position, really, if they were doing it well. I don't know why I don't look at myself like that, but here we are.
Here's the thing. So Mary Sue, this is the thing that I know about you, right? You are heavily invested in your relationships, right? 100%. The majority of us who will go with Jennifer, the majority of businesswomen I know do business based on relationships, even if you're a product-based business, but 100% if you're in the services industry. And that is where selling happens, is through a relationship, right? So it is just such an interesting thing that these are not the things that we equate, right? Every boss that I ever worked for, every business partner I ever worked for always asked me what I wanted my title to be on my business card. And I said, well, call a spade a spade. Like I'm a sales chick. Say I'm a sales chick. Sales chick. Right. And they, without a doubt, no, we couldn't possibly put that. We can't even put salesperson because, that's not how our industry likes to buy. They don't like to buy from salespeople. Account managers is where to go. So now you've hired me to be your sales force, but I'm in a job that I didn't sign up for because I don't even know what that is. Right.
Right.
So, but basically it was my job to manage the relationships for the firm. So it means the same, right? But we just don't think of it that way.
Yes.
And if we could all make more money easier, right? It would be easier. It wouldn't be a hurdle. And then we could make more currency, right? So I think Lisa just popped up with connections equal currency.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's true, right? I love that saying.
and
But
Vicki,
you
it
have
said
to,
cash offers opportunity.
yes,
Yeah.
it does, right? This is where you get to literally invest back in yourself and your business to help you grow. So let's just own our salespeople. Every single one of us is. Here's the thing. So let me ask you guys, both of you, part of the reason why I'm a unicorn partner, just to let you know, is 100% because of your marketing and your puns, right?
I love puns.
Like I'm about it all day, every day. It makes my insides happy. It makes my brain fire. I love everything about it. And why is marketing, where we're really zhuzhing a scenario, right? That's the job of marketing is to zhuzh. It's not the job of sales to zhuzh. Sales is like the blank slate, honest to God truth. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is what we can do. This is what we can't do. Do you want to do it together? Let's, right? Marketing is where all of the other stuff happens. But why do you think it is that we attribute, everybody wants to be a marketer. Everybody wants to get into the good stuff and say all these great things, but literally you're potentially even maybe bragging about yourself. Marketing.
Gosh, well, that's such a good point. Like Lisa said, connection equals currency. I think, yes, that's true, but only if you're willing to talk about what you do. Like, how many times have you met people and like you find out later, oh, they have this amazing business or they do these amazing things, but they didn't lead with that. I was reminded of that. Like I had a call before this one with a friend, we're business friends and we talk once a month just to sort of catch up. And we both run events. She has an event offer. I have an event offer. Mary Sue and I have an event offer, I should say. We were just comparing notes and I was telling her about it. And then she's like, oh, this is turning into a sales call. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, I think I'm going to sign up for your VIP day. I was like, oh, cool. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, this is, I'm about to hop on this Facebook Live about sales. This is a good reminder that this is just, I didn't feel like I was selling anything. I was simply having a authentic conversation, but at least I was willing to tell people about this thing.
You can tell that you've had more than one business because I haven't really talked about it at all with anyone. Our offer. So
you know what? So here, I'm going to be the host for a moment. Ladies, what's your offer?
Oh my gosh. Well, you're going to be hearing all about it on Monday, but it is called the Work Less, Make More Matrix VIP Day. And it's a whole day where we work directly with a small group of people to position their business to scale. So they will walk out ready to slide into a CRM with their onboarding processes and automations mapped out. They'll have the appropriate mindset to envision their role as a CEO as opposed to an employee of their own business. And they will have a delegation strategy in place so that they can outsource and delegate day-to-day operations and open up that space to grow and scale their business. So we are doing that in one, long day, but it's going to be super, hands-on and tactical. I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. And what day is that?
Yeah, it's in October.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
October. It's a day in October. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I don't know if we have it left out, but yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Asking what's the name again? It's Work Less, Make More Matrix VIP Day.
And the reason
it's a Work Less, Make More Matrix VIP Day.
Yeah, because you need a combination of mindsets, systems, and team really to be able to take your business to a limitless potential, right? You have to have a foundation to scale, and I believe that's the foundation. If you have that dream of building something that's bigger than just you, that's what this is about. And if that's not your dream, that's okay. We're not for everybody.
Yeah.
But if that is what you want to do, if you want to build a company, if you want to grow and scale with limitless potential, you have to start thinking this way early on in your business.
Well, and you have to start thinking about that to pay yourself, because you can, on your own, you can only grow so much. It really does.
Be careful what you say, right? So it totally depends on your business for that one, right? And it totally depends on how you do it. Take a look at Darren Hardy, right? Everybody knows who he is, right? Amazing human.
I'm going to look him up.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know him either. Sorry. I said yes, but I meant no.
Lisa, do me a favor. Type in Darren Hardy as homework for Mary Sue and Jennifer. But he has no employees, right? His teams are outsourced. He's a very big name in the coaching industry. So you don't
but he has
have
a team.
But he has a team, and I bet he has systems.
So yes, right? And he had to work to understand what he needed to do to be able to even implement those things, right?
Right.
So I'm just saying that, you can take a look at, what is her name? Lisa. She wrote the Millionaire Entrepreneur, $1 million business owner. I don't know. I will look it up and send it to you guys. So more and more these days, we have the ability to do more with less.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain absolutes for ease in being able to grow, like the systems that you're talking about and CRMs, right? So all of that is definitely necessary as long as you have your vision in place first. Think about it, you guys. How many people do you know in the industry that are entrepreneurs, that business owners that, they think that they need their systems first when they don't even know what they're selling.
Right.
So when you're talking about going backwards, right? It's great. You can have the sexiest system ever, but if you don't have your offer down, if you don't feel comfortable making money that way, what's the point of your system?
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't open up your business on day one, how everything works. I do think, there's that one first year, second year where you're getting to know not only your business, but your clientele.
Your clients, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. We come into our business knowing who we are.
Right.
Like I knew who I was. Am I improved now after 4 years of continual growth? Absolutely, as we all are throughout our lives. But what I needed for this business was to understand who my buyer is. What do they need? How do they talk? It's all about them. It has very little to do with me. So other than the fact that I know that I want to serve them, so I can't get enough information about them and their hopes and dreams, where they want to go and all of those things. So it's all about learning about them first before I can say, oh, now I get it. Now I generate this. So, I need to work smart digitally, for example.
Did you like that? That was very smooth. I appreciate that. What do you think in terms of the clients that you've worked with, you've probably seen certain things come up over and over again. Is there some what's the mistake that most people are making in their sales strategy?
The majority of people 100% come into my program saying, I know exactly who I serve. And it turns out that they don't. Right? So what is the verbiage? Like, how do I talk? So, and it is very much a marketing thing. It has everything to do with your target and focusing on, as a solopreneur, we cannot afford to market to the entire world. Like that's just not in our best interest. So our best interest is very much to concentrate on our target. So who is that? Well, coming up with that and really honing in on that is like a labor of love. And it's really, really painful to come up with your niche. And especially when you love a segment of something, but they just don't buy. Right. So why would that ever happen to us? So, but I love this. I'm great at this. I have all this expertise. This is exactly who needs me.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I started out thinking, nonprofits, they need systems so that they can.
Oh, Mary Sue, I'm just hugging you right now. Yes.
And I worked at that for like 6 months. I got 0 leads, and I was like, you know what? They don't want me. They may need me, but they don't want me. And so I gotta move on.
But at least you recognize you have to move on, right? Like imagine getting stuck there. So the biggest mistake that people make is saying, I 100% know who I serve. Great, give me your sentence. And it's like, I serve the entire world.
Yeah, I have a great example of that. I talked to a potential client yesterday, and her company, she's got a bookkeeping service, and we were talking. I was like, well, who is your target client? And I was expecting her to say small business owners, and she said owners, operators, truck drivers. I was like, I love you. It's like, so I was like, these, because she wanted us to, she wanted to have a virtual assistant help her sort of hunt and peck for leads. I was like, well, you've made our job so easy, because these people we can find, because that's such a specific population, right? Yes. So I was like, it was such a great example of, I was like, you can become like the expert in this world of bookkeeping for truckers, owners, operators. It's a very specific world, and she's speaking that language, and so smart, right? Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
It makes my heart sing. It does. Like, it's like your key to success, right? You being able to identify your people in a way that they also recognize.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause again, it's not just about us. This is a relationship. So there has to be some kind of agreement between the two parties. So, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I've literally been told, I don't understand. We've known each other for years. You're my perfect client. Why don't you buy from me? Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, because I didn't see myself as your ideal client is why I never bought from you.
Hi, Thor.
Hi, Thor.
You're on a Facebook Live, Thor.
I like it. That's too funny. We're making him famous.
I know. He loves
So
doing
yeah,
that.
it just, you really have to make that connection. And it's our job as business owners to make the connection. It's not our clients or potential clients' job to make that connection. It's for us to be very, very clear and leave no room for doubt about who we are and what we do and who we serve.
Yes. I mean, not that I'm perfect, but I have gotten way better, and it makes everything so much easier. Because when I initially started telling people what I was doing, they'd look at me like, huh? It was too hard for them to connect the dots. And when I made it easier, people would be like, oh, I need to talk to you. So,
well, and can I just say something about that? My guess, and I totally need you to verify the validity or say I am completely wrong, okay? My guess is it got easier to talk about because you understood the deficiencies of your potential clients. So you could actually make the connection for them. So you're literally
yes,
educating them in a really simple way, in a way they can understand, for that to be an easy conversation for you.
yes, I was using their words instead of my techie feature function words that were like,
Oh, you know what? There may be some people on this call who've heard this before, but here you go. So it's like, remember the movie A Beautiful Mind?
yes,
Yeah.
Right. Russell Crowe would never be able to actually put into language how he made these connections in his brain. Right. It's the same thing for Mary Sue. It's the same thing for Jennifer. It's the same thing for me. If I try to tell you the technicalities of how I think things work for you and your business and how you can sell easier, it's not necessarily going to hit any marks, right? People are going to be like, oh no, I still hate sales. And now I hate the salesperson and like I'm out, right? But if I can say it in a way that my potential client gets it, they're like, oh yes, I'm totally bought in, right? So again, it's one of those really, really interesting things when you think about CEOs and leaders. I was always told as a number one salesperson, as a rainmaker, that it's, uh, make way for the sales team and their ego. And I always thought, like, I would snicker and think, oh, that CEO, that boss of mine doesn't really know anything about sales, because it has very little to do with that.
mm-hmm.
Other than knowing that we are great at what we do and that we love it and that we can get results, it's not a really ego driven thing, right? It's all
Yeah,
about the client.
it is.
I was
Ah,
listening to a podcast earlier today, and there was a woman who specializes in sales being interviewed. Forgive me, I don't remember her name, but she was making the point that as business owners, we spend a lot of time on activities that have that take time, but they have a low risk value, such as like posting, on our social media platforms, and we think we're marketing or we think we're doing something to help sales. But the one thing we don't want to do is like pick up a phone and call a potential client or
Was I
send
on
an
the podcast? Sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
I think you could have been,
Like,
Katie,
that could
but
have
she was
been.
like, we're so afraid of hearing, and that, comes back to like, we're afraid of hearing no, or we're afraid of somebody saying, go away, I never want to hear from you again. Stop emailing me, take me off your list. We're so afraid of this rejection. So do you agree with that? Like, do we just need a thicker skin? Like, what is, how do we get past that fear?
I don't even need you. What a great question. I don't even need you to have a thicker skin. I just need you to do the work, right? So you can have the choice to, every time someone tells you no, to feel horrible about it. For me, energetically, that's a difficult way to run a business. So I'm not going to put myself in those shoes. I'm going to hear for the no. I'm going to ask why. Like, okay, so you want to be off my list. Can I ask you why? Like, I need to know more about that no. I need to know more about everything in an effort to serve you or someone like you. So 100%. It's so funny that you're talking about picking up the phone. Look, everybody, picking up the phone doesn't even necessarily mean a cold call, right? I know you probably just heard Jennifer say, people are so afraid to pick up the phone. And you literally were like, yep, and I'm out. They want me to make cold calls. Like, oh my gosh, cold calling is dead. One, cold calling's not dead. That is literally a story you tell yourself so that you don't have to do it. It's fine. You don't have to make cold calls. But picking up the phone is so important. And it's been so long since I've been afraid of rejection. My very first sales job was when I was 15 and a half and I worked for a call center. So literally you get like a script that's 400 pages long, and it's one of those like choose your own ending novels. They said no here. Flip to page 236 to understand how to overcome that objection. This is how I learned to sell. These people knew their clients so well, they had a 400-page script about it.
Well, that makes me think of, okay, so I heard this for the first time the other day. I think it was also on a different podcast, and it connects with what you just said. So this person said that the sale begins at the objection.
Yes.
Agree, disagree?
Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. I was
Okay.
sending love to that human in my head. Didn't you hear that?
Yeah, that felt good.
So here's the thing. It's really kind of true. Up until that point, you're just having a conversation. Technically, in-person conversations can even be considered networking, and networking is marketing. It's a marketing function, right? Mm-hmm. So it isn't until there's some kind of pushback and or someone just hands you their money in whatever form they do that the sale happens. So I don't know that I would agree that that's when the sale starts, but it's not far off. And it is something that you'll most likely have to deal with. Think about it, you guys. When you're on your sales calls, the first two objections you're going to get are time and money. Those are the easy go-to things that people hook on to say no politely. And it's never really that. If you guys actually took a look at your statistics and realized the objections that are real, is it usually time and money? Like,
no.
Right? It could be, I'm afraid of technology. I don't know how to use it. I think like it scares me, right? Tech is the scary thing. So it could be that. It could be, oh, no. Thank you so much, Jennifer, but I don't want parent services because I'm afraid to be a boss. Right?
Yeah,
like
that's a big one. Or I don't trust anyone with my business. Or
but that's never what we say. What we say, no, I can't afford you. I can't afford you. I ain't got time. So, working through your sales process, part of the reason why you 100% want to pick up the phone is so that you can work through those things. I have a client, my favorite thing that she's told me recently is, Katie, it was amazing that for the first time I got an email back with some pushback about price, and I didn't immediately think I was being rejected. I literally looked at it like it was just a continuance of the conversation, because that's what it was. And so that could have made me cry. I was like, yes, that's what, because it's not personal. We have to, has anything good in your life ever come easy?
No, it's always hard.
Right? Or at the very least, you got to work at it, right? If it's real, if it's not anything, if it's more than superficial, you've had to dig in and be interested and have conversations and give differing opinions and really work towards a mutual understanding of a thing. That's a sales process.
Yeah, I love it. And, and there's so much you can learn from the no. And you pointed out some of those things. Like you can learn like what the real objection is, like what that undercurrent of objection is. You can learn who your ideal client is. There's so much intelligence that you can gather. You can also learn, I think, about your pricing, because if everybody says yes, your price is probably too low. You actually need some no's.
I'm sorry, Jennifer, can you say that louder for the people in the back?
If everybody says yes to your services or offering, your price is too low. You have to have some people that think it's too expensive, I think. But yeah, there's so much intelligence. So we really shouldn't fear no if we reframe it as, business intelligence.
Data, right?
Data
is everything. Look, I give a talk called Know Your Numbers, and it is all about that. We don't really have to look for so much of our time is spent looking for answers, right? Whether it's from a creation of a systems place or potentially a delegation and hiring a team place in our sales. Like, are we doing good as a business owner? Are we not doing good? How do we know? And here is the thing, 100% our sales life cycle of any given deal, and then all of the deals collectively actually give us answers. And one of the things that humans love are answers. We don't like to run around with no answers. It makes us really, really afraid, right? It gives us, we're in a place of fear when we don't know. And yet, so often, I mean, and we can all recognize this. I have also done this in my business. Like, we don't look at our financials, right? So maybe we just like put those in the drawer and we never look at them like, yeah, they're fine. I'm not broke yet, so I must be doing good. Versus, let me go ahead and open that drawer and, oh my gosh, just yesterday I had a call and I said, okay, so we're getting back on the Salesforce. Did you take a look at your revenue numbers just for last month? And this beatific smile came across her face and she's like, yes. And, you know, she generated over 30K in her business in the last month.
Wow, that's awesome.
If she had known that, how great she could have felt all month, right? So this is where our business provides us with the answers and potential energy. When I see a month that's flat in my sales, right? All I think is, oh, what didn't I do? Where should I start again? Like, ooh, here's this opportunity. I have a flat month. That means there's the potential for me to grow during this month, either next year, right now, because I'm looking at it like whatever that is. Like, oh, let's get it.
Yeah, I truly believe you have to know your the more you know your numbers, the more likely that you will focus on them. So
yeah. I agree.
We you know, I work with business owners a lot in their first year or their second year of business, and I'll say, so what's your revenue goal for the year? And they'll be like, yeah, you know, we're just going to play it by ear. Like I've got some runway in the bank, so we're just going to play it by ear. And I said, well, so you can, like 100% you can do that. But the other than the obvious reasons of like, no, if you write it down and you focus on it, you have a tendency to get there. The only other thing that you're missing about that is your opportunity. So say even it's your first 4 months in business and you're like, okay, I'm going to set a revenue goal for 25K and you work towards that 25K. The beautiful part about that is that at the end of that 4 months, you can actually take a look, see what you did make, right? And actually get on track for setting appropriate goals that are meetable and figure out where you need to up your game or where you're really, really doing well. And so why wouldn't you give that to yourself? Like, what a present. Why wouldn't you set that goal so you can understand, give yourself the answers and understand where you can bob and weave in your own business for
that's
growth.
great. Well, this is why we're going to be hosting our, Revenue Runway networking event on Wednesday afternoon.
Yep, Wednesday the 16th. 4 p.m., right?
4 p.m.
Walk this way to six figures, I believe.
That's right. Sashay your way to Revenue Runway.
Hey, all the puns.
All the puns that you can possibly. If you do not like puns, this is not the event for you. We are a bottomless pit of puns around here.
Well, I guess we're going to have to play that as the entry music, Walk This Way.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that was a done deal. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. Yeah, I love this conversation. And also, I would just like to point out that Katie has been selling during this Facebook Live.
Yes.
You know, she's been selling herself. She's been selling her expertise. She's been selling her business. But I don't think it probably didn't feel salesy to you guys watching. I certainly didn't feel like it felt salesy. I felt it was very organic. Like we were getting to know her. She was being very generous with her expertise. But I don't know, do you feel like, I feel like a lot of things we do are selling, but they don't feel like selling. So I think this is one of those things.
I think, well, and if I did it right, hopefully I sold a little bit of you at Sparent and I sold a little bit of you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always be selling. ABS, always be selling.
So thank you for that. Like, what a beautiful thing. You know, when we share our expertise, it's a portion of the very top of the sales funnel of the know, like, and trust, right? So if there's something that I said that, which is what I say all the time, right? I literally eat, sleep, and breathe the growth and success of small business. It is my 100% everything that I love. It's all my babies in one basket. I love it. And it's so diverse and like, look, we're a beautiful community. There are so many Oh, so much to do and learn and see and be. So thank you so much for the comment. I really, really appreciate that. I think that if we're doing it right, because here's the thing, Jennifer, it's so funny you said that, and I was like, I was not selling, right? That's literally like my first. What do you mean? I wasn't trying to sell anybody, but of course I was. Call me. No. So that's the thing. Like, why can't we have some humor and fun while also being integral and an expert and a leader in a thing?
Yeah.
It's why we started our business. This is what we do. Embrace it. Own it, as Lisa Rinna on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills would say.
And have fun with
Own
it. Why not have fun with it? Like, why not have fun with your sales?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, is integrity and fun are the top 2 core values of Sales Uprising. And 100% part of the reason is because people do not attribute the word fun to the word sales. So we have to show them how to have a good time with it.
Great.
Yeah. Well, Lisa says it best, I think, here. We are a super fun bunch.
Fun bunch.
I was going to say, wasn't the Fun Bunch our show? Wasn't that our show back in the day?
I think it was a show, Fun Bunch. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lisa and Vicki and everyone else that tuned in.
Yes, we had Alexis.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, hi Alexis. Sorry if I missed anybody here. That the comments were going faster than my scroll finger. This has been a great conversation, and feel free to add to the comments if you're catching this on the replay. We'll be checking in, and definitely catch us next week at the Six Figure Salon. For those of you who have your tickets, thank you. I hope you've registered for everything that you can next week. For those who don't have your tickets, please go to smallbusinessgrit.com and grab them up, because sales will be closing. It does start Monday. I mean, come on. You'll be joining over 130 other ambitious women business owners who are hungry to reach their next financial destination in the 6 figures and beyond. So we would love to see you there.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.